Welcome back, beautiful souls. My name's Henderson. I'm a life coach in North Texas, and I want to share with you part 3 of this Wheel of Emotions series. And today we're going to talk about anger. So if you haven't watched any of the previous videos, go ahead and check them out. And the order isn't necessary. The very first one, which we did on sadness, could be helpful because I'll talk a little bit more, but each one has something and a takeaway, and each part of this series also has a specific meditation that goes with it. So if you're interested in that, just comment below or reach out to me and I will connect you with that specific meditation. So today, let's go ahead and dive into anger. Now, the reason we are doing this series is because sometimes we have a very limited vocabulary. Sometimes we have this narrowed tunnel vision, and we've been speaking about our life and our experiences and our expectations with very limited words. And when we limit our life by just a few words, it limits possibilities and expectations and beliefs. So I want you to just enter into this video with a bit of openness, a bit of curiosity. Notice, what words and beliefs do I have about anger? Do I say I'm angry a lot or mad? Let me know in the comments. Feel free to hit pause or just let it keep going and comment below. What words, how does anger usually show up for you? And same as the previous videos, we're going to notice the intensity level. Do I use words about anger that make me even more angry, even more intensity to them? Or am I able to choose some words that still express this feeling without draining me of my energy? So let's go. So as you can see, anger is one of the main key ones. If you still haven't watched Inside Out, that animated movie, it's fabulous. I wish the colors were different, right? Because when I think of anger, I think of red. And in that movie, the character is a red character as well. But for some of you, it might be blue. So let's dive into some of these other words that could be helpful in making it clear to ourselves and others what we really mean when we say we're so angry. Because it could mean I'm hurt. It's upside down for you. I'm hurt, right? Underneath this anger, I'm hurt by what you did or by the situation that happened or by traffic or whatever the situation is, big or small. And notice how that narrows it down, because anger can mean so many things. And if we can use words like I'm hurt, then the other person and even ourselves can understand a little deeper. Next is threatened. Am I angry because I feel threatened, whether it's my job or my life or my family, right? Just thinking about those things, notice how it activates that fight or flight response. If some of you feel threatened or your family feels threatened, you feel like protecting them. And for some of you, if you feel threatened, you go into this freeze mode or a flight where you will hightail it out. So notice how threatened feels very different than anger. Ooh, what about hateful? Whew. So in terms of intensity, threatened and hateful are really high up on that intensity level. How often do you use the word hate? I hate this, I hate that, I hate them, I hate myself. Those are all very, very heavy, very intense words. So we will even go into, what do we mean by hate? What do we hate? So we can get even more specific. So hang in there. Mad, right? Some of these just sound like synonyms. Now, mad sounds, for me personally, is a step down from angry. For some of you, it might be exactly the same. It feels a step down from hateful. I'm mad. So just notice what's coming up in your memory, what's flashing through your imagination and your mind. Aggressive. Do I feel like someone else is being aggressive toward me? Do I feel like I'm getting aggressive to others? And notice how that feels. Is it a good feeling? Is it a bad feeling? Is it something what we want to feel more of? Or do we want to get specific with our vocabulary so we can really work on this? There's another video where we talk about how life is like a car and our dashboard lights up, and it's important to pay attention to what words are popping up and what they mean and what we can do about it. Instead of just being like, oh, I guess I'm angry. I guess I'm aggressive. I guess I'm fearful. Really looking into that and seeing what we can do, what tools we have to work on these feelings that are arising. Frustrated. That is one of mine. And if you know anything about human design, that is my not self theme. So I really resonate with the word frustrated. Instead of angry, instead of hate, instead of mad, I'm frustrated. And in terms of intensity level, that one really speaks to me because it's a lot lower. I'm frustrated. Try that one on for size, just for a moment. Oh, I'm so angry. I'm so pissed off. I'm frustrated. Right? Very different feelings to them. Notice what it does. Notice if there's a flood of emotion, where it shows up in your body when you're thinking about being pissed off versus where and how it feels when you're frustrated. Next up is distant. I'm angry. I'm distant, right? I'm distancing myself. I'm having boundaries. Notice how very different those are, but it's still in the same category. And critical. Oof. Sometimes when we're angry, we get critical. Or sometimes someone criticizes and we get angry. So notice that huge variety. It's not one specific thing. So if we are all using the word anger, and it can mean all these and more, we can be more specific. Clear is kind, but we have to be aware that there's more vocabulary for us to use. Okay, next up, if we keep going out, sarcastic. Notice sarcasm is under this anger. Now, some of you are like, oh, I'm just witty and funny in a different way. Sarcasm usually has a little bite to it. So notice if you are using sarcasm as a way to get in some jabs or to express complaints in a different way. And I challenge you, see how it feels if you can go a week or a day without sarcasm. Let me know if that's one of your go-tos. Skeptical. I'm skeptical. I immediately am closed off to anything new, anything different, any kind of change for myself or others. Suspicious. Notice those have a similar feel to them. I'm skeptical, I'm suspicious. Notice how they're different for you, if they're on the same level of intensity, if they mean something different, if they bring up someone in your memory bank when you think of skeptical versus suspicious. Sometimes it might just be situational. Next is withdrawn. That reminds me of distant. Next up is irritated and infuriated. Whew. Look at the intensity level on those. Infuriated is like furious, very intense. Irritated reminds me of frustrated. I'm irritated. It sounds like there's more options around it. I'm irritated, so I'm going to do this. I'm infuriated almost sounds like you're out of control. I'm infuriated, right? It sounds like your amygdala, right? Your thinking brain has gone offline and you are struggling to compose yourself. And how does that feel when you feel out of control, like you have no choice? Hostile. A hostile work environment, right? Hostile sounds dangerous. There's a very intense level to it besides just angry. Provoked. right? Is someone taunting you? Are they pushing your buttons? Are they provoking you? And then I'm gonna flip it over. Enraged. Enraged. I'm enraged. Rage is hiding in there. And is rage something that we want to think about and experience all the time? Next up is furious, kind of like infuriated, very intense. So if any of these are coming up that you're like, oof, I use or think about that one a lot, I want you to jot it down and be aware this coming week of how often it comes up for you. Violated. Ooh, is this a safety issue? Are your boundaries violated? Are your, your physical boundaries, your emotional boundaries? And if it's, boundaries, that's a whole nother thing that we can talk about, because holding boundaries, it's one thing to set a boundary, but to hold them is a whole nother level that I would be glad to help you with. If you're looking for a life coach, go to AMh&x.com and we can work on boundaries together. It's definitely worth it. Resentful. People pleasers tend to be resentful because they are not able to say no yet. When they do, they have a lot of guilt. So they say yes, and they say yes when they don't have the time, money, energy to do those things. So then they end up feeling a little resentful. Jealous. It's a different flavor of anger. I'm a little jealous. Instead of judging yourself or pushing away jealousy, be curious about it and lean in and go, interesting, like, why am I jealous? What is this actually about? So you can learn about yourself and grow from that personal feedback instead of resisting it, because what you resist, yes, that's right, what you resist persists. That lesson is going to come back to you and offer itself up if you don't learn from it. Insecure, we've heard that one in a previous video. I'm insecure, right? I'm angry. Underneath it is insecurity. So what can I do about this? Devastated. Ooh, that one brings up a lot of emotions and intensity for me. Embarrassed, right? I'm angry because it was a moment, but I was embarrassed. So notice what a wide range of situations and emotions that this can cover, instead of just defaulting to I'm angry. So I hope this is a helpful challenge for you. I hope you dive in to your vocabulary and try to adopt one of these. If you didn't get a good look or you missed it, feel free to rewatch this or save this video or share it with someone you know. You can also just Google Wheel of Emotions and pull up a copy for you to print out and put on your fridge. There's pillows, there's stickers, there's clocks, there's all kinds of merch about it. And of course, I always recommend Atlas of the Heart by Brené Brown. Continue this journey and this growth, and come back and join us next week as we dive into the next part of the Wheel of Emotions. Thank you so much for joining me here, and I hope to see you also over on TikTok, 3 p.m. Central, Monday through Friday. It's a great place to engage, to build community, and to work on things that other people also want to work on, like enriching our vocabulary so we can be more intentional with our words. You do have a choice. You are worthy. You are enough. I'll see you back here next week.